Time together is fading fast. Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Pod999 podcast, where these spirits are dying to tell their tales. It's time to meet your ghoulish co-hosts, Dave Adams and Dave Madrin, as they'll be your guides through shadowy stories, chilling curiosities, and mysterious mischief centered around all things Disney and more. And do remember, there's always room for more. So settle in, light your lantern, and beware. Some of what you hear may follow you home.
Well, Dave, we're back for another week of Disney news you can use on the Pod 999 podcast. As always, you've got your one and only ghost host with the most, Dave Adams, coming to you live and in living color all the way from the top of the state of Alabama in the Pod 999 podcast studios. And as always, from the great state of Texas, where they have mediocre barbecue, I have brought along my friend, Dave Madrin. Dave, what's going on, man?
Wow.
Mediocre barbecue. I said
mediocre barbecue. Okay. All right. That's how the show's starting. This is the first time we have been live.
You are correct.
And this is how you want to start.
Okay, I'll say this. You have good beef.
Mediocre?
You have good beef barbecue.
It becomes mediocre if you put that white crap sauce from Alabama on it.
Spoken from somebody who's never even tried it.
You're darn right, because we put that on Texas barbecue.
You're right. Put it on chicken. Anyway, this is not the barbecue podcast, although it should be. We've got
hey, we can go that route too.
We can. Hey, actually, I do have to ask. You just got a big green egg. How did that go?
Bro, I am freaking digging it, man. I've done a pizza on there.
A pizza? Okay.
Yes. I probably, it's some work.
Yeah.
Because you got to get the fire started. It's some work, but man, let me tell you, it's good.
Is it? All right.
I've got a brisket. I've got a small brisket I'm going to try to put on there this weekend or early next week. Speaking of good barbecue. And then just did like some sausages and hot dogs, just kind of trying it out, getting a feel for how it is. But yeah, man, adding to the portfolio of all things smoked.
I'll tell you, the when you are posting pictures of your brisket queso, I wish you could send that over to Alabama, because
but it's mediocre.
Look, it looks good. I find I am usually what I do best on my smoker out here is brisket. So I will say beef brisket is the way to go. Hit it with some of that. Hit it with that meat church. You put the Holy Gospel on it, and then I'll put his Blanco on top of that. I'll double rub.
We love the Blanco in this house.
And I do something that not many people do. This is my little kick that I do. I mix melted butter, hot sauce, and bourbon, and I inject my brisket with that. And that way I don't have to come back and mop it. So it's always getting that extra juices from the bourbon and the hot sauce and the butter. And it is, so good. So good.
What kind of bourbon are you using?
Usually it depends on what I have, but right now I've been using Four Roses.
Okay.
So, dude, I don't skimp, but right now I'm drinking, what am I drinking? Eagle Rare.
Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, speaking of barbecue, if we could tie into some Disney talk.
Well, let me do this first.
Can I just say, just let me get my little barbecue comment out of the way.
Okay.
I This is going to be a take.
Uh-oh.
We're full of them on this show. I am of the belief that Flame Tree Barbecue
Mm-hmm.
is
Animal Kingdom.
top 5 quick service in all of Walt Disney World property.
Top 5. I don't. So I hear that, and I love their barbecue. It's good. I don't think it's the best barbecue on property.
Hey, we're not going to Disney Springs. We're not going to White Pig.
Regal Eagle. If we're going to another park,
okay.
Regal Eagle is better.
I
would prefer to have Regal Eagle, and if we are going to talk all property, then Polite Pig.
Well, yes, but like Disney Springs is kind of in a category of itself.
It is. You are correct. So,
all right, let's
all right. So I have 2 things I have to do. I have to walk. These are going to be. We're probably going to have this segment every other week when we record. This is Dave's I'm Sorry. I have 2 I'm sorries this week. One, let's get this out of the way. My buddy Ben from England, I said his team was Man City. It's not Man City. It's West Ham. So Ben, I'm sorry I insulted West Ham by saying they were Man City.
Just about did it again.
I know. That's like saying that you were a Texas Tech fan. You know, you don't mess with Brits and their soccer or football. My other Dave's, I'm sorry. Apparently, I was a little harsh on Epic Universe a couple weeks ago when we did our epic fail or epic success episode. Yeah. I let my Disney bias show in that episode, and I do want to say I'm sorry. I think that Epic has done some really cool things with their rides. They have done some really cool things with having the 5 universes that you can go into. Yep. It's not my cup of tea, but it is something that I think is very beneficial to the theme park community and very beneficial to Orlando as well. So I would like to apologize to Ben Harris for my football comment and to Universal Orlando for my disdain of their park. So, you're welcome. Yeah. You're welcome.
Now, funny thing, I was just having a conversation on Tuesday with one of our travel partners from Universal.
Oh.
And we were talking about our podcast, as a matter of fact. And
boy.
Ears perked up a little bit. It's like, we've already done a Universal show and, talking Epic. I said, what I really loved about just the whole thing opening day was Jeff Vale's Instagram post. And he's like, totally. So many people think that we're at odds with Disney and we can't say the D word and Disney can't say the U word. And it's like, no, man, it's a win for Florida. It's a win for theme park fans. It's a win for that economy. It's just a win. I mean, like they are having some pains right now that they're working through. Disney would be in the same case if they were opening a brand new park. There would be things. I mean, there's still ongoing things,
always.
Resistance can't stay up,
right?
Like, ooh, don't take that pun too far, folks.
Thank you, because family show.
But it's already just reaped amazing rewards for the economy, and a win for Universal is a win for Disney, is a win for SeaWorld, is a win for Discovery Cove, a win for Legoland. I mean, like, it's all just, and so you don't have to like it to appreciate what it does.
I'll put it this way. You and I are both pro wrestling fans, and that could be a negative in some people's books, but sorry, I'm from Alabama, you're from Texas. What do you expect? Um, but it's the same.
Woo!
Yeah, it's the same way with when AEW came into play in 2019.
Right.
WWE had gotten so stale once WCW went under in 2002 that all it could have done when AEW came in was raise the pro wrestling that we get. And we've seen that. We've seen WWE get so much better. Now they're going back through another horrible writing lull. But it's just when you have competition, competition brings out the best in everybody.
Absolutely.
So, all right, there you go. Those are our apologies. I don't know if Dave will ever have one. He's always so calculated with his words. I'm not. You'll learn that in this podcast. So,
we at the core are still travel agents.
Correct.
And now we don't do this to bring a whole lot of attention to that, but it is. I mean, it's what we do.
It is. The one thing that I've always you'll get a kick out of this, Dave. I had a couple years ago. I had a boss who was not the best fan of Dave Adams, but I know, right? She said, "Dave, you are the only person I've ever said this to." She said, "Your biggest strength is you are not afraid to speak up, right, wrong, or indifferent. You are not afraid to speak up. You will get your point across, and you'll drive a contract home. And that's something that you want as a contracts rep." I work contracts in the defense industry, but and then she said, "But," and I'll caveat this: your biggest weakness, you're not afraid to speak up. You get your point across. I said, I have never had someone describe me so perfectly.
Love it.
So, all right. So moving on.
Yeah,
we've got
news, brother.
We've got a ton. I wish you could see my tabs that I have open over here to talk about. Let's hit the cruise. That's just one small thing to hit. So the Disney Adventure today, actually, on Disney Parks blog, showed their hull for the first time. We knew it was going to be Mickey and Minnie on the hull. And if you are joining us live, you get to see this. But here on Disney Parks blog, here is Mickey and Minnie going on the hull of the Disney Adventure.
Look at that.
The 18-foot tall and 12-foot wide anchor fixture of Mickey and Minnie adoring their ship. This will be the very first time that Mickey and Minnie have been a character on the outside of their ship, which why is this the first time? And this is what, the seventh ship now.
Seventh ship.
Why is it taking 7 ships to put Mickey and Minnie on the hull?
I think I feel like they are spotlight hogs across the Disney brand.
But they should be.
I'm not going to argue that point, but they don't need that moment to still be over. We're going to talk wrestling. Okay? Because they're everywhere. And you don't get that same visibility with the other Fab Five. I mean, they're always going to be in the conversation. You don't have that same visibility with even some of the princesses and just the other things that have found their way as statues, as centerpieces, those kind of things. So I think, from Disney's standpoint, it was a way to bring the spotlight to some other characters, give them a little moment of fame, of attention. And number 7 the Adventure, let me tell you, it needs some help. So that ship needs Mickey and Minnie.
But see, I think this, if I remember correctly, you and I were looking at pictures. They haven't exactly showed what the entire ship's going to look like yet. In fact, it sails in 6 months. We were talking about that.
Out of Singapore.
Isn't it supposed to have sort of a theme park on it? A small theme park?
I don't know.
Yeah. We're about to be graced by somebody's presence here.
Nice.
Say hi, Ellie.
Josh.
Hi.
Yeah.
Not Josh D, though.
Not Josh D. All right.
Here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, our Disney rep. It's not Josh tomorrow. I was fully excited, thinking that we were going to get the future CEO of the company to come talk to the reps. It's not. We'll talk about that later too. That you like my little nugget of
yeah. That was not in our notes.
It was not. All right, so there is. Do we want to hit the left coast first, or do we want to hit the east coast?
Let's go left.
All right.
Because they're in the news already for other reasons.
Yeah, but they weren't there. They weren't there. Disney came out and said they were not there.
That's right. They've not been affected
yet.
So yeah, let's talk. First of all, looking at our backdrop, thinking about the theme of our podcast, I think it is completely appropriate to talk about the impending retirement of Madame Leota's daughter.
I know.
Kim Irvine.
And she did the voices too.
She did round two of Madame Leota. She has officially submitted her retirement papers. And yeah, I mean, like that's, to me, that's still like OG Disney.
Yeah.
Because she was a kid, when Walt was like getting Disneyland up. Her father-in-law was the first president of Imagineering, and so like that Irvine name is synonymous with. Oh, there's the other one. I love it.
Harper.
Hi, Miss Harper. So the Irvine name is synonymous with a Disneyland and with all things Haunted Mansion.
Yep.
Pirates of the Caribbean. But she really, if you've got a Disney Plus subscription, I encourage you to go and watch. I don't remember the name of the series, but basically it's a behind the scenes look at, maybe it's called Behind the Attractions or something like that.
Yeah, there was Behind the Attractions. There was also the Imagineering story.
Or it may have been the Imagineering story, but it spotlighted Kim quite a bit, and just talking about her mom and like her being the voice and the face of Madame Leota, and then Kim getting to do Madame Leota 2.0, which is really cool. So congrats to her for her longevity and seeing a lot of change come through WDI.
Yeah.
But big props to her.
I'll be honest, it scares me a little bit. We're seeing the changing of the guard in a lot of industries in Disney. I think it's been already in 2 episodes. You've seen my love for Disney in this podcast. I will always be a Disney fan. I'm bought in. I'm DVC. I'm AP. I'm almost as bought in as you can with Disney. But what scares me is we're moving further and further away from Walt and Roy and Bob Gurr, Bob Weiss, all these big Imagineering names. We don't have a Michael Eisner and Frank Wells type Imagineering hive mind, kind of leading the Imagineering. So I am a little worried to see the old garb retiring, because now what's going to happen with Imagineering? Are we going to have that same the same care put into these rides? we're already maybe seeing a little slippage of the continuity, because
Sure.
are we going to get Monsters Inc. monsters when we get these Monsters lands on both coasts, or are we going to get the Monsters Laugh Floor monsters? Because so if you're going to have Laugh Floor on Magic Kingdom, you would think we would need to have the continuity and have the Laugh Floor type stuff in Hollywood Studios, but I don't know if we're going to get that. So it's just small things, small little nitpicky things that, it's just something that Walt would have looked at, Michael Eisner would have looked at. But you know what? This is a different regime. We have to start thinking a different way.
Sure. Sure. And
So-
I'm glad that you brought up Monsters Inc. because as we're talking left coast, we're talking Disneyland. There was some news come out over this last week that the Monsters Inc. attraction in Disneyland Park is going away.
Yep.
To make room for perhaps one of the biggest IPs Disney has outside of cartoons right now in Avatar.
And they're getting the water land, and they're also getting the fire land, by what I hear. We don't know what the fire universe is going to be for Avatar yet. That comes out in the movie at the end, I think December.
Yeah.
So, and it's taking over the entire Hollywood backlot area. So that is, you've got that stage back there. They've got the not Capital One, the Disney Chase credit card meet and greets back there. They've got there's a huge sound stage that was where they had the Marvel merch for a long time before they got Marvel Universe up and running. So it's a good piece of land back there.
Yeah.
But I will say, as hokey as the Monsters Inc. ride is, I've talked to quite a few California residents who say they're actually sad to see Monsters go. That's one of the few rides that at California Adventures that they're able to ride with their 2-3-year-old child. That's not scary. And it's just a fun little jaunt through the movie.
Right. Right. And that's actually over in the Disneyland Park. It's not it.
No, Monsters Inc. is in California Adventure. I think you just went dead, Dave. I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you, dude. Yeah, you went dead. Still can't hear you.
Oh, Dave.
I got you now. But yeah, Monsters Inc. is at California Adventure. Let me share my screen. Doop, doop. This is where we have fun and we talk. From Disney Parks vlog. Hollywood backlot area, and Disney California Adventure. To make way for this new experience, Monsters Inc. Mike and Sully to the Rescue will close 2026. So it's California Adventure.
Okay.
That's across the street.
Corrected.
Do what?
Being corrected. I apologize.
No worries. I was just there in March. So
But I'm going next month.
Yeah.
I've not been on that Monsters Inc. attraction. I will make it a priority now.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's across. So if you see the the theater,
yeah.
If you're looking at the theater, Monsters Inc. is to your left, behind the walls there.
Yeah. And see, for some reason, like my mind had all of that over in Disneyland and not. Okay. So,
yeah, it's
okay.
We are Disney World people on this show, unfortunately. It's. But also, Hyperion. That's it.
Yeah, Hyperion.
Also, we got word that Coco is going back with Pixar Pier.
It is. Yeah.
That
will be awesome.
It will be great. I love that they're putting it with all the other Pixar stuff. I was wondering where they were going to put it. They say it's going to be all backstage, so I don't know where they have room to put it backstage. I mean, is there room in San Francisco in the back there?
Well, so they just renovated that whole space. Like that's, you know, been
Yeah.
like it just reopened this last year. Um, or maybe it might have been 2 years ago that opened in 23.
It's a cool little space. I liked it.
It is. Yeah, I like it. Uh, there's not, I mean, not a whole lot to it, but you know,
It's still, I mean, they kept what I liked is they kept the San Francisco area and just
yeah,
added that Baymax. So you still can
yep.
get your sourdough bread, which I went through that line 3
Oh,
or 4 times. Thank you.
dude, yes. I could taste the macaroni and cheese,
So good.
bro, for real. Um, and right around the corner from there, just while we're in that land, uh, Great Margarita. Just letting you know.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah,
The new DVC lounge is also over there as well. I mean, I know that because I used it, but
humble brag.
I've got to get that in
And
there every
drop it
now and
when you
then.
can. But yeah, so Coco showing up. Coco, I mean, like it's been such a big hit for Disney overall. And I feel like they really needed that kind of Latin America piece
Mm-hmm.
better represented in Disneyland. And what a better way to do that than with Coco.
I think it'd be great. We need to probably in the next 2 or 3 episodes. I saw you on our little doc. You have 3 or 4 episodes planned out. I want to do a Destination D23 preview show where we kind
Yep.
of think what Josh is going to announce. Because I will give you my first prediction for Destination 23. You ready?
Okay. Let's hear it.
I think that Josh will announce that they are renaming California Adventure
I've heard that quite a bit.
because it has gone away. Besides that one little part of the park, it has gone away from the original idea of California,
Yeah.
a California highlight.
Right.
I think it will be called Hollywood Studios or something of that effect because it is basically turned into Hollywood Studios West.
I could yeah, you really don't. You have the one you got Soarin' over California
But
back there.
the only time it's soaring over California is when it's Food and Wine.
Right.
Which that needs to stay soaring over California.
Yeah. And then you've got the water flume kind of log ride back there. I've not done it. It's been closed over time.
Yeah, I mean it's a water ride. I'm sorry, you're not catching me on that.
No. You're not going to rename Grand Californian.
No, but I mean that's still the Grand Cal. It's still supposed to look like Grand Cal. You can still that can be the Grand Cal. You can still move into something else.
Need to, I don't know. Yeah, I could see it, but that you might be stepping on some toes there too.
Yeah, probably. But I have thoughts. We'll get it. Yeah, we'll get into that later.
All right, so I think that's it. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah, Bash
was announced yesterday.
Yes.
Tickets go on sale to the general public June 26th. Pre-sale for Magic Key starts on the 25th. Or no, I'm sorry. Inspire Magic Key starts on the 24th. All Magic Key on the 25th. General public 26th. Events are starting August 17th and go all the way through Halloween. And that is an event that I have to get out to. I do Not So Scary every year. I've never been able to go to Oogie Boogie's Bash, which it looks amazing. I want to see the Haunted Mansion overlay with Oogie Boogie and Nightmare Before Christmas stuff.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah.
Yep.
It's not 100% confirmed yet, but I may be out there in October.
Dave, I hate
But
you.
I know, and I hate you. So
I
it's
know.
even because you've got DVC and I don't. Okay.
Ah, well, you know.
It's even. But have they released dates or just dates that tickets were going on sale? Like, do we have event dates yet?
Yes, we do have event dates starting early in August all the way through the 31st. I think I saw there's like 7 August dates, a lot of dates in September, and a lot of dates in October.
Okay.
So go to Disney Park blog for those dates. You can also go to my TikTok, Dave Adams Travels, and I posted a TikTok about that. So, you know, got to get that plug in when I can. Dave, really quick sidebar.
Yeah.
I have to ask you this question. We just talked about Nightmare Before Christmas. Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie?
Here's my answer. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Right.
All right, let's move over to the right coast. I'm sorry, the East Coast. So let's hit the most controversial one first. Last week we got the first map. Last week we got the first map of Piston Peak. This is what will be the park Cars Land basically at Disney World. I was probably the biggest one that said I hated this, but if you're watching the blog right now or the podcast right now, you'll see it. I have it here on my screen. I kind of like what they did here. Right here, you'll see my mouse. This is Big Thunder Mountain. This is Tiana's. This is where you load in. This is kind of this area right here is the load for the new Cars ride. This right here is Haunted Mansion. So what my biggest fear doing this was, how are they going to keep the aesthetic of Liberty Square? They have basically hidden Liberty Square with this mountain right here. So I appreciate that. You know, I was talking earlier about how I think Imagineering is kind of not helping continuity much anymore. I think they did a great job helping continuity right here.
Right.
This is keeping the aesthetic, and notice even the mountains are purple. So they kind of kept the aesthetic of the Haunted Mansion. So you look out and you see that Haunted Mansion purple.
Well, and yeah, I think also just a little foreshadowing, perhaps. Some of that may not directly tie into Villain's Land, but it may, if it ends up kind of going back behind some of that space back there, you may have an entrance from Frontierland over into Villain Land.
I don't know how you would do that, because if you keep going here, this whole area of the map right here is Haunted Mansion, because you got the ride building right here. Then you have over here, you've got the Rapunzel bathrooms. I think the entrance to Villain's Land would probably, I'm sitting here, I'm walking through it as I speak. I think the entrance would have to be by Pinocchio's, the Pinocchio Village House. So I don't know how you get into it from Haunted Mansion. I know there's going to be an entrance behind Big Thunder here, but I don't know. That's down the road. So because of this, they're going to have to close the Tom Sawyer Island, which, when have you been and Tom Sawyer Island's ever been open? It's honestly, as much as I've been, I've never seen Tom Sawyer Island open.
I'm sure there's a small population of people who are as upset about that going away as they are the riverboat. But honestly, Dave,
I know.
nobody's going to miss Tom Sawyer Island.
I made the point to say, if you miss it so much, why are they closing it? If
Right.
you had decided to go every time you went to Disney World, Disney would not decide to close this
I
ride.
would not.
We'll get into this later.
Yeah.
Because I've got a hot take. But the other thing I love is if this Ranger looks familiar to you, he is an existing character.
Throwback.
Yes, he is an existing character from, I think it's a Mickey short.
Yes, back in the 60s.
Yes, and they made him into a car.
Yeah. So awesome.
So
that car, the character, like they carried over the name and all of that. I mean, they did a really good job with that.
I do love it. Now, I will ask you, Dave, you and I think we have the same type of sense of humor. How many times will a dad on a trip or just somebody that you're walking through say, they did what in the peak? The Piston Cup, Piston Peak. How many times will that joke be told in a day?
No less than 1,000. Just thinking about the numbers that go through there on an average day.
Yep.
What do you think? What's MK capacity? About 75, 80K?
Oh, easily.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, a few thousand times a day, you're gonna hear those jokes for sure.
Yep. The other thing, let's really quickly hit this one. A beloved waffle came back yesterday.
Oh,
at Liberty Square. The fruit Nutella waffle came back to Liberty Square yesterday, as well as the chicken fingers. That hot honey chicken finger sandwich came back. That was one thing I was sad to see go, but I am so glad they brought that back. All right. Now on to our controversial topic. This is still Disney news you can use, but last weekend.
No.
Oh.
Don't give them this yet.
Okay, what do we got?
Because, you know what? We need to finish the show on good news. So go ahead.
Okay. Last weekend, Muppets Courtyard closed.
Oh,
look, I'm a huge Muppets fan. I love the Muppets. That was Jim Henson's last project. The fact that they let Jim Henson's daughter Hannah walk through it and her family walk through it, the very last person to walk through it, I got a little emotional.
Yeah.
But Dave, my hot take was the same thing I said about Tom Sawyer Island. Beside June 6th, that movie, I would not consider that a walk-on. I consider that just hey, it's about to start. Let's go. There was never a wait to wait for that show. At the end, when they plowed through and showed the outside, people were still in 1989 Disney park attire. Look, that was Jim Henson's last project. I get it. It should be in the Smithsonian. But that needed an upgrade. I love the Muppets more than probably most people. I grew up watching the Muppet Show. Like Muppet Treasure Island, or Muppets in Space, I'm sorry, is one of my favorite movies. Muppet Christmas Carol is still my go-to Christmas Carol.
That's great. Yeah.
Light the lamp, not the rat. Light the lamp, not the rat. I mean, that is one of the most obscure quotes I could ever tell you from that movie.
Sure.
I grew up on the Muppets. In
Yeah.
fact, I've got a dad joke for you. Ready? What kind of Muppet can be found in the Star Wars universe on the moon of Endor?
What kind of Muppet?
An Waka Waka Waka.
So bad.
But it's
Oh,
so great. Thank you, crowd. I will miss the Muppet Courtyard,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I have a prediction. The Villains show was never meant to be a permanent show.
Right.
I predict this is not the last time you have seen Muppets 3D. I predict once the Muppets take over the Rock and Roller Coaster, there might be a Muppets 3D showing in that building.
No.
I think it'll happen. They've got to find a way to memorialize Jim Henson.
Sure.
And what?
Here's ultimately, they're going to have some help from Apple in this.
Okay.
Because it's been one of the rumored things over on wdwmagic.com. If you're a fan of message boards, that's probably the leading one in the Disney space. Definitely a spot you and I both go to for news and
a lot
hot takes and rumors and all those kind of things. You can find just lots of good information there. But Apple has, what is it called? Like the Apple Vision, whatever, basically like the Meta Oculus kind of deal,
Right.
VR. There's been a lot of talk over that message board that, maybe with some technological advances with that production, that you could potentially see that being implemented into a VR type of experience for in-home viewing.
I am all for that, as long as I can finally see the 3-hour grand finale. Please, Sam the Eagle, give me that 3-hour grand finale. All right, so we got
Waldorf finally got to go to the bathroom. I mean, bathroom break has finally happened for him.
Yep. All right, so we now also kind of have a drawing.
We do, and it's changed some.
It has, and it doesn't look too different from what we have now.
Correct. Which I think is Disney's way. Here's my take. Hey, we need to find some way to save some cash. How can we take the existing buildings, monstropolize them, or give them the Monstropolis look? Monstropolis.
Yep.
But what? How can we take what's already there and just touch it up a bit?
So what you see on the screen right here, if you're watching, this is the new drawing that came out. So this, what I'm circling right here, is the existing Muppet Theater.
Yep.
This is the existing Mama Melrose and Pizza Rizzo.
Yep.
This is the existing Miss Piggy Fountain.
Yes.
From here on is backstage.
Yes.
All this right here is so.
That's
Dave,
all build.
Well, yes and no.
To an extent.
Do you know what this is right here?
Star Tours? No.
This is the old Halcyon.
Oh. That hasn't been it's been vacant for a while, hasn't it?
Correct. The Halcyon is sitting right around in this area.
And that's where the door coaster is going to be.
Right. So what they haven't announced is this is that sushi restaurant.
Right.
I mean, that's the logo and everything. Here's my hot take. This is what I really think they should do. This theater is sitting there. Move Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor to Hollywood Studios.
They've already said it's not happening.
They've already said that's not happening?
It's not happening. They're keeping that over Magic Kingdom.
Then why are you keeping the theater? What's going in the theater?
They've got plans for it.
What are those plans?
Dave?
Yes.
Destination D23.
Okay.
Coming up in August.
What is your prediction then? What goes there?
Well, I don't necessarily have a prediction, but I think we get some insight. I don't think Josh is going to let all the worms out of the can yet.
But he should.
Not yet, because then you got to have something for D23 in Anaheim next year and whatever else,
Disney World should be the shining city on a hill.
It should, but it's not. Guess where that's going to be now? Abu Dhabi.
I know. Quite literally.
Yes.
Okay.
Literally.
Yep. All right. So that's all the. Well, all right, Dave. You want to finish on a high note?
I do. Well,
okay.
Some sadness. Disneyland's revamping, which Disneyland's needed the revamping. They've needed the expansion. Got more parking coming in. Lots of good things happening out there. It's unfortunate that Monsters Inc. has to go bye-bye, but some good things happening there. The Disney Adventure, that's a toss-up. We'll see what they end up doing with that. Google Disney Adventure, go down that pathway for a while, and that rabbit hole, and you'll see why the ship's going to end up looking the way it does.
But it's going to be great.
It is. I'm excited because, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, that is the rumored ship coming to Galveston here in a couple of years when DCL starts sailing out of Galveston year round. But to kind of finish this episode off on a very high note.
Okay.
Let's go to our favorite park. Let's go to Epcot.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go to Epcot. Now, I'm a World Showcase guy.
Okay.
Really, I'm just going to be brutally honest.
You're a Mexico guy.
Just a Mexico guy. I mean, like, I could hang out on the boats and the Three Caballeros all day. I mean, I could.
So you start the World Showcase the way it should be started in
absolutely.
Mexico. Yeah.
I start there and I end there every time because I don't leave. I don't leave.
You don't leave.
No, but some exciting progress has happened over in for Test Track.
Yeah.
It's been down for well over a year now, getting another revamp. GM is still sponsoring this great attraction.
They're now the longest. Yeah. So GE is now the longest running sponsor of any ride in Disney World history.
Well, there you go.
There's your history fact for the day.
Yeah. There you go. The walls are officially down around Test Track.
I love
That's
it.
the good news.
And they're testing.
That, to me, they've been testing for a few weeks now. That, to me, kind of points to where the reopening of Test Track may be somewhat imminent. Now, we don't have an official date. He's good about just, sprinkling pieces here and there.
I think Disney's. So I think Disney's forgotten what a calendar is. They forgot to say, oh, this day.
Yeah. They write the calendar.
Yeah. I know why they have done it. Because they don't want to be we don't want that hard deadline. But
that's it.
I would like to know.
Yeah. So, but I think we could realistically expect some AP testing, some cast member testing,
Very
probably
soon.
early July, maybe early to mid July, maybe a month out.
If it's early July, timing might add up.
Ooh,
Just throwing that out there.
timing might add up. There you go.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Also, Epcot,
Yeah.
Geo 82 is opened.
GEO 82, the new lounge,
Which
21 and up.
have you looked at the menu?
I have. It is a bourbon lover's dream.
Heck to the yeah. That bourbon flight looks amazing. $49, and you get 3 exclusive Disney picks. And I want to say something. I forget. I think it was Uncle Nearest. So you get 4 pours for $49.
So I'm not in the bourbon world as you are.
I was going to say I am.
Yes. So 4 pours for, call it $50.
Yes.
Is that on the high end? Is that on the low end?
That's actually on the medium end. So
okay.
What I have seen, you get Uncle Nearest. I believe it's 4 Roses, Eagle Rare, and Blanton's. And the Eagle Rare, the 4 Roses, and the Blanton's are Disney picks, which are exclusive to Disney. They actually went and picked the barrels themselves.
Yeah.
So for exclusive pours, that's actually a pretty good price. Put it this way. Polite Pig has a flight, and this is on the very cheap end for these bourbons. Polite Pig has a flight of the Pappy Van Winkles of 3 pours for $100.
And Pappy's high end.
Pappy is very high end. So for those 4 pours, you're getting a very good deal for $50.
Okay. All right.
They also have a really good maple old fashioned. And I had a friend of mine, my shopper, who actually, Michelle Drinkwater. If you're not following her on Facebook, search for Mad at Work. Not a sponsor, but Michelle is a good friend of mine. She should be, but she's a good friend of mine. She actually is where I get a lot of my Disney merch. When I can't be at the parks, Michelle will gladly go shop it for me. But she went the other day and she's had 2 or 3 of these bourbon drinks. She said the maple bourbon old fashioned was to die for. If you can get to Geo 82 for a fireworks showing, it is right there, and they pipe in the music.
Yeah.
So
that screams Father's Day experience.
It really does. And I haven't looked, but I guarantee you all of those reservations are gone.
Oh, for sure. That's this weekend.
It is. If you have not got your Disney dad his Father's Day present, we all wear a size 7-day Disney adventure. That's it.
Okay. I was just going to say a 2X Roosevelt, but go ahead.
Well, 2X Roosevelts as well. But by the way, I love your park exclusive Haunted Mansion Roosevelt.
You know it, man. You know it.
So, Dave, we said 45 minutes, but in true Dave Adams fashion, we went long. So let's go ahead and close up this week's Pod 999. Dave, if they want to follow the Pod 999 on the socials, where would they go do that?
Well, so we're over on X at Pod 999 Podcast. Same for Facebook, same for Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube. A simple at Pod POD 999 Podcast.
There you go. We also have a Gmail, and if you would like to get in touch with us, if you have a topic that you think we need to cover. If you just want to say, hey, Dave, you need to have an apology for this subject for what you said,
Right.
which I'm sure that will be a normal
2 weeks. What are we apologizing for then?
Right. It's pod999 podcast at gmail.com.
Yeah, or if you would like to advertise,
come on.
Hey, we're here for it. All right.
Come with it. If you want to book a vacation, look,
Yes.
we are travel agents at the heart. This is a podcast that we do just for fun. We are not, we would like to use this to help fill our book of travel, but this is not what we're doing as a advertisement thing. But if you're looking for a travel agent, there are two good ones here.
Absolutely.
Dave, I would say Dave Madron is an expert on all things Mexico. Your exclusive.
Shocker.
I know, you're right there, right? So Dave, if they want to talk to you about any travel, but especially a Mexico travel, how'd they get in touch with you?
davidmadron.net. Got a little link tree link there, and there's a place where you can fill out a travel inquiry. Would love to connect with you there, or you can find me on socials at Travelmation Dave over on TikTok and Instagram.
There you go. I think that you would say I am probably I as close to a Disney expert as you can get. Not to toot my own horn, but toot. So if you are looking for a Disney trip, thank you, sir. If you're looking for a Disney trip, not just parks, I do cruises as well. I can help you with the Disney, the Adventures by Disney. I can help you with anything Disney. I can help you with anything.
Alani,
dude. If you have never made it to Alani needs to be on your bucket list.
Hey, we need to do a live show at Alani.
Let's do it.
And on the Treasure.
And on the Adventure, and on the Destiny, and on the Magic,
and on the Magic, and on the Wonder.
Yeah. I mean, if we're being honest,
might as well.
But if you want to help book a Disney trip, I would love to help you. Dave Adams at travelmation.net. I'm not as high tech as Dave Madron right now. I'm working on it. Dave Adams at travelmation.net. Also, find me at TikTok. Dave Adams Travels. I'm doing a Disney park question every day.
I was just going to say, I love the series that you've got working right now.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, let me tell you, like, people are bringing some takes on there.
They really are.
And, you are known for the hot takes on this podcast.
Yeah.
But you've got some people on there bringing some takes that are like, dude, we got to find a way to incorporate that somehow.
I had one guy, I did a tribute to the Muppets last weekend. One guy said, oh, well, sorry. Good to see him go. What?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Funny, his name was David as well. So, all right, there you go. That is the Pod 999 for this week. We're going to start a new way of ending the show every week. I'm going to end every other week with a Disney quote. Today's Disney quote as we leave you. Laughter is timeless. Imagination has no age. And dreams are forever. Walter Elias Disney. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. We love y'all. Y'all be good. And enjoy everything that you can when it comes to travel. Bye, guys.
Our time together is fading fast, but the spirits never rest. If you enjoyed this ghoulish delight, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review. It helps keep the spirit energy alive. Until next time, remember, foolish mortals who listen closely just might hear whispers from beyond, haunting you until you remember to listen to our soothing voices on our next episode. Hurry back! Hurry back! And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review.